Slack and Major welcome you to the My Type of Hype podcast, where we celebrate hip-hop, not just the hype.
How y'all feel out there?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody, welcome back to yet another episode of the My Type of Hype podcast. Me, your boy Slack, in the building as always, and my co-host extraordinaire over on my left. What's happening, brother?
Yes. We're here, man. Very good. My Type of Hype, the podcast that celebrates hip hop and not just the hype. Major in the house, back with Slack. We saying, bro, you good?
All good, brother. All good. It was actually a good week for music releases, right? We had some, some good stuff dropping together, man. So, what we got in the bag today?
Yeah, so today we're going to look at one of my favorites. I ain't going to lie, I'm gassed about this one. Speshal Machinery, Conway the Machine, and 38 Spesh. Hit us last week, a few days ago, before we'd bring that to the timeline, man. And especially off the back of something you said as well, which I found was very interesting. I was literally thinking the same thing when I saw your tweet. When you said about you've not seen any mention of the album or any discussion of the album, and you put the question out there and said, are people tired of Griselda, or is, you know what I mean? What is it? And I found that interesting because this is a solid drop. We'll get into it, obviously, but like crickets, man, I ain't heard or seen anyone talk about it.
Nothing, bro. I didn't see anything.
Nothing at all.
The maddest thing for me is there was a time on Twitter, like if either one of them dropped something, it would be crazy, like it'll explode. Mm-hmm. So it was just really strange that it dropped and people were like, oh, did that drop? Yeah. So that's why I asked the question, like, are people just, I don't know, bored of the sound, bored of the MCs? You know, we live in a time where people have got like attention spans, you know, as long as a fly. So that's why I asked the question, because it was just weird that I hadn't heard anybody say anything about it. And I was listening to it and I was like, this is hard. So it's just a bit of a surprise that it just kind of, you know, came and like nothing really happened about it. So yeah, so how do you feel about it, bro? What's your thoughts on the album itself?
Yeah, man, I'll just say this quickly as well. I think in response to what you said, I do think dropping too often can hurt your brand, man. Like I know in one degree people's like, yeah, regular, keep feeding them, but like I'm still a Flea Lord fan. Like he's another one you don't hear any mention of anymore.
Flea,
yeah, he went through a period where he just dropped in.
Like, I think he just did too
ridiculous,
much, man.
You know what I mean? But I do like Flea. I'm not going to say I was late on the train. I was on the train when I was on the train. But the first project I really gave my ear to was People's Champ, and which I'd say is probably later on. Yeah, that's right.
Right.
A lot of people had been rocking with him a good 18 months or so before that. So I fell in love with that project, done a deep dive, and went right back and just started checking out all Flea's work. So that took me a while because I was thinking, right, this guy's catalogue is deep, you know what I mean? But I definitely feel like dropping so often sometimes can damage your brand, because he dropped a brilliant project. It's probably my favorite Flea project since People's Champ. And it was the 2-3 zone with Crisis, not Crisis, KH Crisis with a C.
Oh, and I enjoyed that actually.
Yeah, bro, it's hard. Once again, crickets. No one never heard any, and he's dropped a few. But anyway, this ain't about Flea, but I'm just saying I think sometimes when you drop regularly, it can kind of, people's like, I'll get to it when I get to it. Yeah. And I think that might be the situation with this, you know, because 38 can drop regularly as well. And we know Conway,
because
he hasn't for a while.
He used to drop quite regular, but recently he's been doing maybe one a year, if that. I think
which is better.
Yeah, I would agree.
Definitely. So I think that can hurt the brand. But to talk about the project, I love it. Anyone who knows me knows I'm a big 38 Spesh fan. I love when people can do things well and more than one thing well. I think his production's sick, and I think as an MC and as a lyricist, bro, he ticks every box for me. He's by far one of my favorite rappers right now, like top 5 for me. Maybe not on a GOAT list, but right now, he's someone, if he drops tomorrow, I'm listening. Do you know what I mean? He's got the sickest voice for me. I love his voice. Like, he just sounds, no matter what he's saying, he just sounds sick, man. Punchlines for days, bro. He's got quotables on top of quotables, man. And he's a funny guy, bro. Like, and just his swag, like his confidence, like just I just think he's so sick, bro. Like, there's so much quotables in his bars. He sounds sick of his own production or who else's. So I was really excited. I heard about this maybe a month or so before it dropped. So I was very excited that it was dropping. Same with Conway. I'm going to keep it real. Love Griselda. I'm not a West Side Gun fan, as most people know, but I do love Griselda as a movement. Conway, one of my favorite rappers at the moment as well. But for me, the last couple of projects have been underwhelming. The last project he dropped, I can't even remember the name of it now. Can't remember the name. It's gone from me. It? So that, yeah. That's all right.
Won't he do it? That's it. Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. Very forgettable for me. 1 or 2 tracks, okay, but yeah, I just weren't excited by it.
I actually thought the album was all right. I
don't be saying,
a lot of people were shitting on it, but I was like, it's totally fine to me. Like,
I don't know what it was, bro. I don't know what it was. I just listened to it more than
I think a problem with today's hip hop fans, right?
And
I don't really blame the fans too much. I just think it's a matter of circumstance, right? So there was a point where an album will drop once every 2 years, right?
Yeah.
So in between an album dropping and the next album dropping, there was a lot of growth. So even their voice might have changed, or their style might have changed, or something. So that it will intrigue you. So they had that time to breathe. So let's say between Ready to Die and Life After Death, Biggie was a totally different MC.
Yeah, between experiences.
Yeah. So you get the chance to go and travel the world and see new things and meet new people and get influenced by other things and stuff like that. That you don't have that time now. So literally you're getting fed a lot of the same stuff.
Same thing. Right.
You drop in February, you drop again in July, you drop again in September. What's really changed in 2 months? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if it's 2 years, then you're going to get something different and you're anticipating it. You're not anticipating now because it's like, oh, I'm dropping Friday. So you haven't got much time to build up any kind of anticipation or anything like that. So I think it's a matter of circumstance, because rappers now, because they're dropping so often, the audience are then saying, oh, I'm bored of hearing the same stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. But then when a rapper switches it up, they're like, oh, I don't like the fact that he's trying to switch it up. So it's like, what do you want?
You can't win. Yeah.
If I give you, you literally cannot win. If you give them the same stuff, they complain. If you change it up and you go with the Justice League and other producers, they still complain. So you just have to make music that you want at the end of the day, and whoever likes it, and whoever doesn't.
Exactly.
That's just how you got to do it now, man.
You got to be who you are. You have fans for a reason. If you're going to try something different, it's going to reach some people, and people are adaptable. We go through experiences, we change. You know, I'm not the same person I was 5 years ago. You know what I mean? People change. So it's like, if you're going to do something different, that's cool, but expect and understand that not everyone's going to like the new style.
Right.
That's fine. Do you know what I mean?
Feed your core fans. I think the best MCs, the most consistent MCs now,
they
know what their core audience is. Like, let's look at Ransom, for instance. Ransom knows his audience, so he'll like tweet and just be like, I'm dropping Friday or something like that, and then he'll drop the same. Rock Marcy's very similar. Like, people have to go to his website to get his music because he knows his core fans are going to buy his shit, whatever. So I think nowadays the artists that have that figured out, that if you have a core fan base, they will buy your shit, like, regardless. And if it travels outside of your core fan base, then brilliant. If the music is great and your fan base goes and tells everyone, listen to this album, it's great, they're doing the job for you. You know what I mean? So you don't have to marketing and all that. So it's literally like dropping the album, boom, it's good, then people will get to it. So I think that's where we are with Conway, Griselda as a whole. As you said, they've dropped so much music.
You don't get a chance to miss them.
Yeah. And although, like, they're not all the same, they're all very different. Him, Benny, and Conway are very different. But because they are Griselda, they all get lumped in the same box. So even if Conway drops today, Benny drops next week, it will still be classed as Griselda, Conway, and then Benny. So I just think it's a matter of, we're just in a time now where just the music consumption is completely different. The way music is released is completely different. So I just think it's that, bro.
No, definitely is. And I was definitely in that place where I was feeling like I said, I'm always going to make a beeline to hear anything Spesh drops. But when I heard about this dropping, I thought, okay, this should be good because, you know what I mean? And I remember, you know what I mean? I got receipts. I said, this is cool, but as long as 38 is rapping as much as he's producing, I don't want it to just be like, because he's done projects with people where he's solely produced it.
Right.
Maybe he's got one guest verse or something, but I didn't want it to be that because for me, it was just going to feel like another Conway album. And I weren't that keen on the last one. So I was thinking, I hope 38 has a lot of input. And he did. I love the project. I've played it a lot. I was playing it again this morning, a couple of nights ago as well. I'm on it a lot. The production's good. If I'm really splitting hairs, I feel a little bit like Conway sounds a little bit like his verses have just been sent in. Not him rapping, but the sound of it. Like the quality it sounds very like it weren't mastered well or mixed well. Like it sounds like Conway sent his verses in. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And Spesh don't sound like that. But Conway's rapping, 38 Special's rapping, the beats are hard. Favorite tracks, I literally like every track. My least favorite track is the intro, but still I like that. Literally like every track. My favorites are Goodfellas, the title track, obviously. Fireplace, Latex Gloves, obviously Thing Goes Hard, Lloyd Banks. Yeah, just the thing for me as well that really annoys me is you got Pharoah Munch on the track, bro. Like, is it We Outside or something?
Verse, man.
And he's singing, like, it's like Pharoah Munch. Can you imagine? Like a 38 Spesh, Conway, Pharoah Munch rapping hard on the track. Like, it's like, man, like, and he's singing. Like, it's like
when I saw him featured, I was like, yo, Shane Pharoah Munch.
Yeah,
I was expecting some crazy pussy cut, bro. So yeah, man, I was disappointed in that.
And he can sing, but it's like I don't want to hear him sing. It's like me, you know what I mean? Getting Whitney Houston when she was alive to come and do beatboxing on the song. It's like that's not what I want to hear. Do you know what I mean? Get Mariah Carey to bloody breakdance. Do you know what I mean? That's not what I want to hear from her. You get me? So it's like and he can sing. There's no doubt about that. But I don't want to hear Pharoah Munch sing. You've got him in the studio.
Yeah,
you've got him. Let him rap a verse, man. One of the best rappers like of all time, probably technically. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
That was a real like, I don't know. It felt like a gut punch.
Like, slap in the face, man.
Yeah, like you teased us. You put him on, and everyone waited for this verse, and it just never came. So yeah, man.
Exactly, man. But just little things, and then I'll let you talk about how you feeling. But just like bars galore. But I always like when Spesh goes, his gun's old but pretty, like Maya's face, and he says, "My trap house." What did he say? My trap house ain't got a. Oh, it's gone from me now, man. My trap house ain't got a chimney, but it's a fireplace. You get me? Just like there's so many little bars that you just think, oh, wow, like it's actually bad. What was the one he said as well? Naughty. He said something about I want to see if you're down with the ops. You get blasted at this 40. I want to see if you're down with the op. Like Naughty. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just so many little things and you think he's such a clever MC as well. Like there's humor in it, there's charisma, there's flow, there's swag, there's one-liners. Yeah, man. And then Conway done his thing on it hard as well. They actually got good chemistry, man. So yeah, I love the project, man. One of my favorites that I've dropped recently. So yeah, man, that's me. I love the project. I'm happy with that. I was very happy with it.
Yeah. I like the title. I thought the title was very Special Machinery. I thought even that alone was good. And I think like we're missing a lot now with regard to MCs that are witty. It almost feels like there's no sense of humor in hip hop anymore. Like people just ain't clever with it anymore. They just say stuff. So as you were saying, like Spesh is very like he's still dropping those kind of lines that makes you like, okay. Yeah, because that's quite rare now. Unfortunately, like we don't really have many MCs that do that anymore. And there was an abundance of them before where you have to be like, what did he say? You know what I mean? So
Conway's quite funny as well when he wants to be.
Yeah. So I enjoy that. I really like that aspect of it. Like, and then they might say something, and you're like, and then you put it together, you're like, okay, yeah, I get that. So that was good. The beats were good. So it wasn't just Spesh. There was someone else. It was Spesh and
Jimmy Dukes.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can't give all the credit to Spesh, but
Very true. Very
yeah,
true.
yeah, yeah. So shout out to Jimmy for that.
Mm.
Conway delivered, the features delivered. I'd heard Goodfellas before
Yeah.
the album dropped, and I was saying this is sounding good.
Yeah.
My expectations for Griselda albums isn't what it used to be, and I don't think that's a bad thing necessarily. I just think it's one of those things where they've just dropped so much, so I can always just go back to any given project on any given day, and there's just not enough time, as you said, for me to be it would be good if I got a project from Conway.
Yeah.
That's why I think Benny's holding on to his album a bit, because he went for a period where he was just dropping stuff. So I think that's why he's holding on to this Def Jam debut. So people are kind of building up that kind of want and need for it. Yeah, I enjoyed it as a whole. I think it's just a good album. You can just play it. It's cohesive, and it's got everything that I asked for: good beats, good raps, humor, wit, charisma, and they work well together as a team. Yeah, I can't really say that there's much that I didn't enjoy. I think it didn't overstay its welcome as well. There was like just enough tracks for you to be like, okay, yeah, that's fine. And then it left, you know, you never felt like, why is this guy still rapping? Like, it wasn't any of that kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, so yeah, overall, I really enjoyed it, man.
What would you give it? What was your rating?
Favorite tracks, pretty much the same as yours, if I'm being completely honest. So all the ones that you listed, Fireplace, Speshal Machinery, Latex Gloves, yeah, all of the, and there was another one that I really liked. I think it's the one after Latex Gloves. Let me see, what was it called? Last Week. I like Last Week too.
Yeah.
Last Week had a nice beat. So overall, I would say it's better than Dope. So I would have to say, yeah, in and around the kind of 4, because it's got, again, as I always say, if I keep going back to it, that means that I like it. And if I go back to it often, then I would have to hover it around a 4. If it's dope, I can hear it every now and again and be like, yeah, I enjoy it. But I don't have that want to hear it all the time because it's so much out. Well, so for it to stand out among all the other stuff that's out at the moment, I think that's an achievement in itself. So I would have to hover around a 4 for it. What about you, bro?
Yeah, same here. I'd go for 4. I think 4.5 is superior. You know what I mean? 5 is obviously what it is. I don't know if I'd say like it's a superior project, but it's definitely better than Dope. Do you know what I mean? It's I think 4 is fair. I think if I'm in a really good mood, I may throw out a 4.5 if I'm in a really good mood. But I think objectively and looking at it, I'd probably go with a 4. Like it's a strong 4. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm going to go back. In fact, when we finish this, I'll probably play it now. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those ones that I really enjoy. So strong 4 for me. They all delivered. I was giving 38 a lot of praise, but Conway did his thing on it as well.
Definitely.
Back to back, they both killed it, man. I would not complain if they turned this into like a little series and done more.
Duo thing. Yeah.
Would not mind that.
And it's good to have Conway kind of back, because I feel like he purposely removed himself from the spotlight, because people were like, where's Conway? Like, I haven't heard from him. And I think that was good for him, because I think he was saying something like there's days he wake up, he don't want to leave the house, stuff like that. So I think he was going through something personally. So it's good to see that he's kind of, breaking out of his shell a little bit. He's got doing that whole drum work thing as well. So yeah, that's good. That's kind of good to see, and that he's still dropping stuff like this. That's good. So yeah,
man. Enjoyed it, man.
Yeah, I did too, man. So if you haven't listened to it, give it a spin. Let us know what you think down below. If you agree, if you disagree, it's all good. And we'll see you on the next one. So from me, your boy Slack, as always, and my partner in crime on my left.
Yes. E Major, thank you for tapping in. Speshal Machinery, check it out when you get the opportunity. Once again, we'll be with you again next week. My Type of Hype, the podcast that celebrates hip hop and not just the hype. So until then, keep it hype, Stay blessed. Peace.
Peace.